Hi, Terry here, and welcome to Times Gone Tech. This is a 16th century 75 caliber Matchlock Musket from the Rifle Shoppe. And as everything from the Rifle Shoppe goes, some assembly is required. Now, if you're wondering, okay, what happened to that Russian snap lock? Well, actually, it's coming along very nicely. This is it. I've got it probably about 3/4 assembled. I figured out where all the parts go, and got a couple springs already hardened, drilled, hardened, tempered, and set. And yeah, everything's looking pretty good with it. So I should have that ready to go here pretty soon. Then I can start working on the barrel and then the stock. So here's what's going on. Actually, I ordered this musket back in early March. Just now came in today. Just got it in today. But I ordered it in March, early March. Then in late March, I ordered the Hakenbush. And then in April, I ordered the snap lock rifle. Well, the Hakenbush came in first. And then the snap lock, you remember, came in. And then the musket, which I ordered first, just now got here. I'm not really too concerned about that. I'm not on a time schedule. I'm not doing this for a living or anything, so I don't really care. These are rainy day weekend projects. I got an hour, nothing to do. I'll pull this lock out. I'll work on it. I'll pull this musket out. I'll work on it. Gives me something to do, and then occasionally I'll do follow-up videos on. So let me change the camera angle and give you a close-up of these parts. Okay, let me get this out of the way. They even sent 2 different sizes of some match cord, or at least rope to make match cord with. It doesn't look like it's been finished yet, but that was nice of them, just to ship that in. Okay, so let's go through some of this stuff. Now, like everything is rough cast, everything from the Rifle Shoppe. You can see here's the trigger guard, and it's still got your casting gates here, here, and here. That's got to be cut off, and then the casting seams here all have to be worked down. The same with, I forget what it's called, but this will set up, and the barrel will rest on it. You got this, it sets in here, which will stick on, and then this will stick on a wooden pole, and that's so it can swivel. And then this sticks on the bottom of the pole. You can stick on the ground, and that way you can hold it and you can swivel around and shoot it, kind of like an early swivel gun. Everything is as you see here. Now, I've been sitting here for about a half an hour looking at this stuff, and I've already figured most of it out. It took me about a month with this Russian snap lock to figure everything out on it. And the one advantage that the musket is going to have is that the Matchlock musket historically was very common. So there are going to be schematics available on the internet. I just got to look them up and find them, like, what is this piece? What does that do? And this, of course, holds your match. All right, here's the outside of it. Cool, huh? And then this, I'm thinking, is the other part to that. And then the match fits down in there. But how does that hook together? I have no idea. But I will be able to find out. A lot easier than I found out the parts on this snap lock. This obviously is part of the trigger mechanism. This is a spring. This is the flash pan and cover. This will be the flash pan. This fits up against the barrel. This will pin here. Slide it open, close it. I got that figured out. Of course, trigger guard. Butt plate, which of course we have to make ourselves. And all of the nails to attach the butt plate. These 2 things here, which came in a bag labeled nose it band or nose band, depending on how you want to look at it. The thing about this, let me get this out. There are no thimbles or thistles for holding the ram in. And barrel is beautiful too, by the way. I can't get it all in here, but 75 caliber, smooth bore, hexagonal up at the breech. Also, they already threaded the breech and the breech plug. So that was good. I really didn't expect them to do that. I thought I was going to have to do that myself. But looking at the stock, wait, you can see it's not recessed like with the snap lock. It's just this groove here. And it can fall out of there. So what's going to hold that in? What's going to hold that ram in? Well, the only thing I can figure is maybe these bands somehow bend around the bottom of the stock, nail into the side, and hold it into place. Nose band. I don't know. I'm going to do some research on that and find out. Good piece of wood on the walnut here. Not great, but good. Nice fishtail stock. I like this little recess here for your thumb. And it fits the shoulder very nicely as is, but long. It's almost 6 feet long. Tang screw, I'm thinking. A couple of screws for holding in the trigger guard, hold downs with pins. A couple of pins, I don't know what they are. This is interesting here. There's a thumb screw, which I think goes with wherever it went. This piece and this piece somehow to adjust the gap for the match cord. I don't know how it works. This is the trigger. Obviously, there's a hole. The pin goes here. This is casting flesh. So this rotates like this somehow. I've got this little piece here. This is not a flash gate, casting gate. This is part of it. These are the casting gates, these two here. So I don't know what that is yet either. These are probably 2 screws for holding the lock plate on. And then here is the lock plate. Very simple plate. Show you how that just fits on there like that. Of course, I have to work it down, make it fit. I'll have to cut these casting gates off and then work it down to make it fit. And they've already done a lot of the internal work. This is where the trigger will come in, and I'm thinking this piece probably fits in there somehow, and the trigger presses up against that and pushes this up and down, and that probably works this. This piece clearly fits into this hole once I grind it down. And when I pull the trigger, it should push this down into the flash pan. So, yeah, I mean, everything is here. Rough cast. It's going to be a fun project. I don't know that I can tell you a lot about Matchlock muskets. I haven't really done the research. When I ordered this, I was planning on doing all the research and finding everything out about that, getting the part schematics and all that. But then they back ordered me. They said it would be sometime between September and December. So, and then the Hackenbush came in. I was working on that, and then the snap lock came in. So I hadn't really planned on even starting this snap lock here until December. Haven't got that part screwed on yet, but you can see I've already got the dog here. I figured out how that worked. I've got the dog spring. Haven't attached it permanently yet. Fits into this slot like so. Here's the internal workings. I've got a spring here, the dog catch, all that's all working. So yeah, that's a lot more than I expected to have done in the time I've been working on it. I've been working on this for a couple of weeks only, and I've already got it like 3/4 finished. So I'm just going to put it up, take a break, start working on this stuff. When I start getting maybe a little frustrated with this, I'll put this up, take a break, go back to the Matchlock or the snap lock, and so on and so forth. So, my Halloween special. Well, I got busy, didn't get a chance to make it. I even had a script written, but life does take precedence over YouTube. So there it is. And I was hoping to have this Matchlock ready to go for Thanksgiving. If it had came in, early September, I could have this finished up in 3 months, but not in 3 weeks, not into a good job. So I seriously doubt if it'll be throwing any sparks out or throwing any lead downrange, probably until January, sometime maybe. Definitely when I come back in February, it should be ready to go. And yeah, I'm going to be filming another video tomorrow. I'll be putting them online tomorrow afternoon. Try and get caught up on some of these before the end of the year. It's going to be an interesting one. I expect to get a lot of hate mail from it. We'll see. I'm tackling another BP BS myth. So be sure and stick around for that. What the hell is this thing anyway? I remembered asking that about the dog catch and the dog earlier, about that other one too. But this, what is that? Huh. Cool. Nails, square nails, little square, look like flooring nails, little handmade square nails. Cool. Got a screw here. I'm not really sure what it's for yet. Good looking screw. Has not been threaded yet. The other screws have been, but this one hasn't. So, interesting. See you next week.